Hello, ladies. So I'm just going to hop right into it, and I'm not going to waste any time with an introduction after the video that you just seen. So first thing is first, this video credit actually goes to Sydney Petty. She is the one who sent this to me. So girl, if you're watching, thank you so much for sending me this video clip. And I'm glad that she did, because I want to talk about this on my channel. There's a few things that I really want to jump into and address when it comes to this video. This is the message that I've been trying to tell all of you and warn all of you about. We do not have time to sit on YouTube and talk about the cute shit anymore. We do not have time to sit on YouTube and talk about this miscellaneous cynical stuff that is not going to help you, okay? And it's not going to prevent you from finding yourself in these particular situations. And allow me to explain. This is why Black women need to spend less time on these channels. You need to be spending more time on learning self-defense. You need to spend more time learning, guess what? Learning things that are not feminine, because it is no longer a joke out here. These men, especially these Black men, they are starting to see what's really going on with Black women. They are starting to see the shift happening, and these men are starting to lose their absolute minds out here, okay? Now, I want you all to pay attention to the specific pattern. I just showed you a video of a man chasing a woman down the hallway in an apartment building. If any of you follow Paris Milan, she also showed you a man approaching a woman in an apartment complex, okay, harassing her. Sorry about that, ladies. So like I was saying, if you watch Paris Milan's channel, she did the story talking about the young woman who was getting harassed at her apartment door. That man had been following her for weeks. Not so much following, but he had been pretty much stalking her for weeks. I mean, he was watching what time she would go into her home, what time she would leave out, and he also knew what type of car that she drove. Now, the screenshot that I'm showing here is somebody that I do know personally, and this young lady lives in Chicago, and as you can see, she lives in an apartment complex, and you can read right here for yourself. You all need to really pay attention. There is like a weird, significant trend happening where these guys in these apartment buildings are watching you, because this is the third story and encounter that I have came across with women having these encounters with these guys in the apartment buildings that I'm living in. So you can pretty much know where I'm going with this. This is why I keep telling you all, you need to put yourselves in better situations to where you don't have to, stay in these unsafe apartment buildings, because it seems to me that living in a lot of these apartment buildings, you're making yourself a target. So even if you have to get your money up and start saving your money, you need to move into an apartment out in no man's land where it's away from the city. And guess what? If you're going to have to drive 45 minutes to work every day, well, that's just what you're going to have to do at this point, because staying in these apartment buildings that are closer to the city or within the city, you're putting yourself at risk. Like I said, this is the third story that I have came across. I saw it on Paris Milan's channel, and I just showed you one particular video out there in the Bronx, and then now this scenario also happened in Chicago. These apartment buildings in the city are not safe for Black women. You are a target. And I understand that many of you ladies may have your reserved thoughts about living in the suburbs, but you know what? I'm just going to be straight and cut it to you real clean and be real honest with you. Whatever type of bias that you have living around all white people, you better let that go right now, because quite frankly, you have this idea in the back of your mind that you're going to face all these type of biases, living in an all white neighborhood or being in certain living spaces in suburbs that don't have a lot of black people there. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be a lot safer living out in Trumpville, away from the inner city, because these men are getting more bold and they're becoming more, dare I say, demonic. And these men, all these crazy guys that you see online on YouTube and saying crazy stuff, these are the type of men that are manifesting their way out into the open and doing these things. These guys are trying to bum rush their way into your apartments with your children in them. They're trying to snatch you up at your apartment door and force you to hug them and try to, go into your apartment with you, and they don't even know you. They're running up to your apartment door and ringing your doorbell and watching what type of car that you park out there in the apartment structure, the car structure. These men are getting crazier by the day, and black women, it's not safe. At this point, you really need to prioritize your money. You need to come up with a game strategy to think about where you're going to live at this point. Because even if you still choose to live in an apartment building, you may really want to think about not living in the inner city. You need to at least be living 45 minutes to an hour away from the city at this point. I understand that many of you have job obligations, maybe where you live at, maybe the job is only 15-20 minutes away, maybe it's not a bad commute, but think about your safety, think about your safety. And this is why I want to keep pushing, getting certifications, getting a trade, getting education on my channel, because these are going to be the keys and tools that will help you to be able to pick up and move very easily without any type of financial strain to a different neighborhood, to a better apartment, to a better condo, without having to, worry about other things, and, putting yourself in a safe environment, because, it's really getting ridiculous to this point. And like I said before, this is why I don't care what anybody else has to say on YouTube. I don't care what these femininity channels have to say to you. I don't care what these level up channels have to say, because you better bet your bottom dollar what they are not going to do is they are not going to come on here and tell you the raw, unfiltered truth, especially when it comes to your safety, especially when it comes to being having a target on your back as a black woman. We have to learn to live in reality. And this is the reality that we're living in. This is not, see, the things that I talk about on this channel, this is not YouTube stuff. I live in the real world. I live in real life. And these are things that are happening to black women. So I'm going to continue to use this platform to push education. I'm going to continue to use this platform to become a better you and gain access and tools so that you can lessen your chances to find yourselves in dangerous situations like this. Because when you're living in these areas with these people, this is what you have to go through. This is what you have to put up with. This is what you have to deal with. And they're getting bolder out here. They're getting bolder. And you want to know what's coming? It's only going to get worse, because let me tell you, especially if you're a black woman living in Texas, you all have to deal with that damn demon of a woman who is trying to pass all these different laws to allow these criminals to get away with so many things. They're in Texas. So, ladies, you have a lot of thinking to do. You have a lot of thinking to do. It's time to really put in place some strategies. It's time to start using our critical thinking caps about some things. There are programs out here that you can complete within, less than 12 months. If you need to hurry up and become some type of medical assistant, or you need to hurry up and become some type of CNA or an LPN to get your money up, to get up out of these spaces, that is exactly what you need to be doing, because it is not a joke out here. It is not a game out here. You have all these clowns on YouTube that want to clown you and talk to you crazy about, getting any type of certification, getting any type of skill, any type of trade degree. But what they're not going to tell you is, if you don't have the majority of those things, if you don't have not one thing that I just named, you're going to find yourself in these situations with these people, okay, that are doing this. And like I said, shout out to Sid for sending me this, because I've actually been wanting to talk about this for a minute based upon the status that I saw on my personal Facebook. Like I said, this is somebody that I actually know. She lives in Chicago, and she lives in an apartment building. She doesn't live in the best part of Chicago. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to understand, for these men to be so bold to be able to walk into your domain near your apartment, walk up to your apartment door, they are willing to do anything. They could kick in your door and you open that door even slightly. They could be waiting for you to come outside or go pick up some groceries really quick and just bum rush their way in. This is not a game. What I talk about, like I said, this is not no little YouTube stuff. This is real life. So ladies, please be careful out here. Come up with strategies. Let's get our affairs in order this year. And please, 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 please take heed to this particular message that I'm putting out. Do not manifest your way of thinking by YouTube standards. We need to be thinking in real time, in real life, outside of YouTube. This is real. It is not a joke. Also, ladies, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, but I do want to say this. If anything happens to this channel, to look me up by my same name, and I will pop up and I will have another channel. I don't care how many times I have to keep getting deleted. I will just keep popping up with new channels every single time under my same name. So if you search me, a channel will pop up. So I will always be on here. I am not going anywhere. I also have a Patreon, and I also made a Instagram page so that we are able to keep in touch with this content that I do want to continue pushing. So I will put that information at the end of this video. And ladies, I want to thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.